Hello student, welcome back. We are going to start today's session. Today it is lecture 3, module 3, microcontroller and embedded system. Shongita Roy, assistant professor, electronics and communication engineering department, Narula Institute of Technology. Now it is the third lecture of module 3. In the previous class we have studied 8051 assembly language programming tools. Under that we have discussed 8051 microcontroller assembly language programming structure and different programs, and it is a continuation of that. So what we have studied programming language, machine level language, assembly language, high level language, structure of 8051 microcontroller assembly language, level, instruction comments, how they are organized, it was shown there. Little bit of programming structure, language directives, different directives, some examples. DW, EQU, their examples. End statement, how they are used and how it is structured. And little small programs with examples. Call, jump, different instruction. Loop, jump instructions, how they are used. DNZ, JNZ, what is the difference, how they are used, and where the address goes and details of that, it was shown. Jump instruction, how different jump condition and their details was also explained. Short jump, long jump, and corresponding opcode mnemonics was written also there, and corresponding what is the content of the program counter also detailed discussed. So it is today's session. It is lecture 3. We are going to start our session. Call instruction in 8051 microcontroller. Call instruction is another control transfer instruction. Call instruction is used to call a subroutine. Need to perform the task frequently, subroutines are used. Using a subroutine make a program more structured and help in reducing memory space. There are two instructions for call in 8051 programming: lcall, acall. Lcall is long call, acall is absolute call. Lcall, long call. Lcall is a 3-byte instruction. This first byte is the opcode and the second and third bytes are used for the address for the target subroutine. Anywhere within the 64K byte address space of 8051, lcall can be used to call subroutines. The 8051 microcontroller knows where to come back to. It automatically saves on the track the address of the instruction immediately below the lcall. When a subroutine is called, the control is transferred to that subroutine, and the processor saves the program counter PC on the stack and begins to fetch instruction from the new location. After finishing execution of the subroutine, the instruction RET returned transfer the control back to the caller or to the position from where it is called. Return or RET needs by every subroutine at the last instruction. Like the end of any program, it is also end of any call. And after that, it resumed its original normal work. Example 1. Let's write a program to toggle all the bits of port 1 by sending it to the value 55H and AAH continuously. Put a time delay between each issuing of data port to 1. First org0 back colon move A hash 55H. Load A with 55H. Move P2A, send 55H to port 2. P2 indicates port 2. L call delay, time delay starts from here. Move A hash 0 AAH, load accumulator with AAH. Move P2A, send AAH to port 2. L call, time delay, S jump, keep doing it indefinitely. This is the delay subroutine. So from where it has started, now it will go to the delay. So I want to show you. Okay, 1 minute. So I want to show you how it works. So whenever it L call delay, so L call delay, it will automatically go to call. So it will come from here because from here the subroutine starts. So it will go to the delay program. So the delay subroutine starts from here. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, these lines are the delay program. After completing this, it will go to here. And after completing the whole program, it will come to the end statement. But as this program is doing it indefinitely, so it will not come at all to the end. Because if there is a provision for ending the program, then only it comes to the end. As there is no stop indication, it will keep on continuing doing the program. So again we are going back. So again we are so it is move A hash 55H. So accumulator will be loaded with 55H. Then this 55 will transfer to port 2. Then the time delay will start. Here the time delay, we are reading this. Move. First it is org 300H, put the time delay at the address 300H. Then move R400 FFH, that indicates R4 is equal to 255 hex. Therefore this is the counter. Therefore 255 counting will be there. After this counting, stay here until R4 becomes 0. Until R4 becomes 0, it will stay. When R4 will be 0, it will come back to this position. Then move A hash 0 AAH. Then accumulator will be loaded with AAH. Then it will be loaded to port 2. Then again time delay until register is counting 0. It will stay over there. It will blink, and after that it will S jump back. Keep doing this indefinitely. So it will continually doing this job. In the above example, following points should be noted. When the first lcall delay is executed, the address of the instruction right below it, move A #0AAH, is pushed onto the stack and the 8051 starts to execute instruction at address 300H. In the delay subroutine, first the counter R4 is set to 255 FFH in hex. 255 means the loop will be repeated 256 times. When R4 becomes 0, the control falls to RET instruction, which pops address from the stack into the program counter and resumes executing the instruction after the call. The amount of time delay depends on the frequency of 8051. Can increase the time delay by using nested loop shown below. So here it is, delay, nested loop delay. Then move R4 #255, load R4 with 255 hex number. Then move R5 #255, load R5 with 255. Again DJNZ R5 again. Stay here until R5 becomes 0. DJNZ R4 next. Decrement R4. SJump next. Keep loading until R5 becomes 0. Return to the caller when R5 equal to 0 and end. Rewriting example 1 more efficiently. So it is showing how we can do more efficiently the same program. ORG0, move A #55H, back, move P1 A, issue value register accumulator A to port 1. Then A call delay, time delay starts from here. Then CPL A, complement register A, that is to 55H becomes AAH. You just do this, write 55 hexadecimal to binary, then convert, then complement and back to again hexadecimal. You will get AAH. SJMP back. Keep doing this indefinitely. This is the delay subroutine, starts from here. Move R5 #0FFH. R5 is equal to 255. Do it until R5 equal to 0. Return end. So same thing is going again and again over there. So it is quite clear. So this is the main program and this portion is the delay program, this portion. So when the A call comes, it will come over there. After completing, it will go back to here. The register accumulator A is loaded with 55H. By complementing 55H, we have AAH. By complementing AAH, we have 55H. In binary, 55H is equal to, this is the value of 55H, and if you complement it, you will get AAH. This is the same thing. So by complementing 55H, we are getting AAH, and by complementing AAH, we are getting 55H. Vice versa. Importance of stack and the call instruction. To understand the importance of stack in microcontroller, let's examine the content of the stack in microcontroller. In example 1, let's examine the stack contents after the execution of the first lcall below. So ORG0, then move A 55H. It is a corresponding, the meaning you have already now understood. This is the comment line, and this is the mnemonics, and this is the stack program stack pointer address. We are not repeating this side, we are concentrating only the main program now onwards. ORG0, move A, corresponding mnemonics these are. Move A hash 55H. So accumulator will be loaded by 55H. Then move P1A, accumulator value will be transferred to port 1 lcall. Therefore lcall will be, subroutine will start from lcall where the delay is there. From here it will start. Lcall will start from here. Then move A hash 0 AAH, accumulator will be loaded with AAH. Then it will be transferred to port 1, move P1 comma A, lcall delay, again lcall delay, it will come to the delay subroutine. Then sjump back. After completing this, it will sjump back. From where it is back was there, it will be start to keep on doing this. So when the first lcall is executed, the address of the instruction move A hash 0 AH is saved on the stack. This lower byte goes first and the higher byte is the last. The last instruction of the call instruction must be a return instruction which directs the CPU to pop the top bytes of the stack into the program counter PC and resume execution at address 07. The stack frame after the first call is given below. So it is 0A, it is a stack over there, then 9, then 8, stack pointer is 09 and it is shown over there. Push and pop instruction in subroutines. The stack keeps track of where the CPU should return after completing the subroutine. Where over a subroutine is called, the wherever a subroutine is called, the number of push and pop instruction must always match in any called subroutine. For every push instruction executed, there is a pop instruction to be executed also. So this program is quite big, so in not one slide it is showing, in the 2 slides it will be shown. So the example is analyze the stack for the lcall instruction. So first it is org, then move A 55H, therefore accumulator equal to 55H, move P1A, therefore accumulator value is transferred to port 1, move R4 hash 88H, therefore R4 is equal to 88H, R5 is equal to 57H, move R5 hash 57H. Lcall delay, therefore call delay starts from here. After completing delay subroutine, it will come back again, move A 0 AAH, accumulator is loaded with AAH, move P1 is equal to A, accumulator value is transferred to port 1, again lcall, therefore call delay, after completing again call delay, it will sjump back, keep on doing this, therefore this will continue doing this. So after continuing doing this, it is the delay subroutine comes from here. So it is the delay push 4, therefore push R4, push 5, push R5, move R4 0 FFH, R4 is equal to FFH, move R5 is equal to FFH, R5 is equal to 55, again DJNZ R4 again, DJNZ R4 next, pop 5, then pop 4, then return and end of this total program. The stack frame is given below. After the first lcall, it is the stack value, it is showing over there. After push, it is the stack value. After push 5, it is the stack value, it is shown over there. Assembly, main program that calls subroutines. By lcall instruction, the target address of the subroutine can be anywhere within the 64 KB memory space of the 8051. This is not the case for other call instruction, that is to ACALL. Main program calling subroutine org lcall subroutine 1, lcall subroutine 2, lcall subroutine 3. Here sjump here. It is the end of the main program. It is a structure how it is showing. So it is subroutine 1, then return, subroutine 2, return, subroutine 3, return. After doing all this thing, the main program will be end. It is showing a structure how it works. What is absolute call in 8051? ACALL. ACALL is a 2-byte instruction as compared to LCALL. LCALL is a 3-byte instruction. The target address of the subroutine must be within the 2K bytes address because only 11 bits of the 2 bytes are used for the address. There is no difference between ACALL and LCALL in terms of saving program counter on the stack or the function of return instruction. The only difference is that the target address for LCALL can be anywhere within the 64K bytes address space of 8051. The target address of the ACALL must be within 2K byte range. 8051 marked by different companies on chip ROM is as low as 1K bytes. In this case, the use ACALL instead of LCALL can save the number of bytes of the program ROM space. Therefore, for saving the space, we can use ACALL. So the time delay calculation in 8051. What is machine cycle in 8051 microcontrollers? The CPU takes a certain number of clock cycles to execute an instruction. These clock cycles are referred to as machine cycles. The length of the machine cycle depends on the frequency of the crystal oscillator connected to the 8051 system. The crystal oscillator along with the on-chip circuitry provide the clock source for the 8051 CPU. The crystal oscillator frequency can vary from 4 MHz to 30 MHz. To make the 8051 system compatible with the serial port of the personal computer PC, 11.0592 MHz crystal oscillators is used. In the 8051, one machine cycle lasts 12 oscillator periods. So to calculate the machine cycle, we take 1 by 12 of the crystal frequency. Then take the inverse of it, resulting in time period, that is 2 frequency is equal to 1 by time period. Therefore, this is very important how to calculate the total time consumed for an instruction. Example is showing over there. Let's find the time period of the machine cycle in each case for the following crystal frequency of different 8051 based system: 11.0592 MHz, 16 MHz and 20 MHz. For 11.0592 MHz, therefore, it is divided by 12 because earlier it is shown that we take 1 by 12 of the crystal frequency because one machine cycle lasts for 12 oscillator periods. Thus, divided by 12, therefore 921.6 kilohertz. Therefore, machine cycle is equal to 1.085 microsecond. For 16 megahertz, it is 0.75 microsecond, and for 20 megahertz, it is 0.60 microsecond. Let's find how long it takes to execute each of the following instruction for a crystal frequency of 11.0592 MHz. The machine cycle of a system is 11.0952 MHz is 1.085 microsecond. Already we have calculated this. So move R2 #55H. It is 11 instruction cycle, so time will be taken by 1.085 microsecond. DEC R2, it is machine cycle 1, therefore it is also same. DJNZ R2 target, it takes 2 machine cycle, therefore it is 2 into 1.085 microsecond, therefore 2.17 microsecond. L jump it takes 2, S jump it takes 2, NOP 1, and MU LAB it takes 4 machine cycles, so time to be taken it is 4 into 1.085 microsecond, that is to 4.34 microsecond. So we are ending today's session over there. So today's lessons, this is the references. Thank you. We are ending today's session.